Hey y'all, it's me, Alex. Welcome to a new series that I'm starting called Super Late Takes. This is a series in which I will be using an eyeshadow palette that I've had in my collection for a while, or is just simply older and isn't as new and interesting, but I still wanted to use anyway, and I will give my opinion on it. And while I am using it in a sort of fun little chatty get ready with me style, I will also be talking about a subject that I have an opinion on, but I'm super late about. Today, for the eyeshadow palette, I will be featuring the ColourPop and Powerpuff Girls palette. I bought this because it was $5 on ColourPop's sale site. And firstly, I just need you to appreciate the packaging because I've done this with this about like 5 times since getting it in the mail. So, woo, I love that. Okay. I'm a huge Powerpuff Girls fan, and I was kind of hesitant to get this or not, but felt like it's $5, it'll be super fun. And I do generally like ColourPop's shadow formula. I've heard a lot of great things about this palette, so I thought it might be a fun time. I'm gonna use some of these colors on my face today, and this is my first time using it, so I'll tell y'all what my general impressions of this are at the end of the video. And the subject that I'm choosing to talk about is Downton Abbey, because I've been watching, Case and I binge the entire show in 2021 over the course of about 3 weeks, and it was very good, but I also have a lot of thoughts and have also just like plunged myself into the internet Downton Abbey community. Sorry, I just got my hair cut and it looked really good when the stylist did it, and now I can't quite style it in the same way. So if that's a thing that we're gonna have to deal with. But I figured that'll be a fun style video, because I also kind of feel like it's a wee bit bullshit how the beauty community and capitalism only makes like first impressions of brand new makeup that just came out 2 hours ago popular. And I noticed that a lot of the times, as like someone who is deep into the beauty community on the internet, I will find myself saying to myself, oh, I really want that, but that was released like 3 months ago. And I don't know if I can use that in videos, which I think is a really just not great way of thinking about things. Because if you want something, if you think you could use it, if you would enjoy this palette or whatever, just because it's old doesn't mean that you shouldn't give it a shot. I'm combating that capitalistic mentality by doing this series. So let's see, I'm kind of a few different minds, because I love all of this sort of, like, at least these 2 rows. I'm a little bit less enamored with the top row, but that's because I'm not a neutral person. We'll see how this goes. Okay, let me go ahead and put on some eye primer. As always, I'm using my NYX HD eyeshadow primer, because that's what I like to do. I also know that the artwork on this palette is from the later Powerpuff Girls series, so not quite what I had nostalgia for, but you know, the Powerpuff Girls was my absolute shit when I was a child, so I wanted this anyway. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the shade Silico here, which is a sprig green, and I think I'm just gonna take this brush here and put it where I feel like it should go, which I think will be on the outer and inner corner, but we are going to see. Sound fair? Actually, I think I need a different brush. I think I'm going to use this brush instead, because I'm really not 100% certain what I'm doing. Also, this seems to be very well indented in here. I'm trying to see if y'all can really see there's a star in there, and I'm digging this pretty deeply in. So, nice little touch, ColourPop. So, Downton Abbey, probably one of the best shows that I have binged. It's right up there with Schitt's Creek. In terms of favorite shows that I've binge watched. Generally I'm the type to sort of go for just like sitcoms to binge, especially in the last year or so. Well, 2 years now, because of the, the little Panic at the Disco that we've got going on, has kind of made me want to go for things that are a little bit more lighthearted, not too in-depth, things that don't make me think too terribly much specifically about the horrors of the world. And I find a lot of the more dramatic TV shows don't necessarily allow me to relax. So I love the show, and I'll say with all my critiques of it that this is coming from someone who genuinely really liked it. I also saw the movie, and I know a lot of people didn't like the movie. I thought the movie was great. I thought it just felt like a long episode of it, and I'm very excited for the new movie to come out next year. This year, what is time? I'm prefacing all this with, I really love the show, actually, so. One, I think it is definitely propaganda for the aristocracy. Just gonna say that this is rich people propaganda. I find it really fucking interesting, but it definitely also idolizes rich people. I'm not necessarily going, well, I'm gonna fault it for that a little bit, but in the same way that I would fault like Gossip Girl, in that it shows, well, everyone has problems. And I do appreciate them going into it with the nuance that, like, well, estates like this at the time did employ a lot of people, so there was like more than just, you know, a superficial aspect to them existing. I'm gonna really bring this into the inner corner. I've been playing a lot with like different shapes of shadow here recently. I don't understand how Mary and Edith hated each other so much. Like, I get that Mary was kind of the golden child. It was kind of a golden child scapegoat dynamic. I'm an only child, so this is probably part of me not understanding. But like, to do some of the things that they did towards each other of like blackmail, all of that kind of bad stuff, granted, I don't understand the want to do that to anyone, much less someone I'm like related to. So maybe that's just me being, I don't know, a morally obnoxious person. But so that's probably where that is. I'm gonna bring this on the lower lash line as well, just a little bit. I know everyone hates Thomas, but I kind of love him, and I love his arc in the movie especially. I love how he takes care of the kids. I like that he's a morally gray person. I don't think someone has to be a perfect character for you to like them. I also love how they treated the animals in the show. Like, I am someone who's very sensitive to bad things happening to the animals, but to show like that all the animals were like well cared for, I love that. In this house, we absolutely stan Mrs. Hughes, Mrs. Patmore, and Anna. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I think that is self-explanatory. I love them all. I'm very mad at the way that they did the Anna and Bates storyline. I can understand the first prison storyline. I get that. I think that that part was interesting with his like manipulative ex-wife. I think that was very interesting. The second time was unnecessary. I think I'm going to use Frenemy here as my shimmer, like in the middle, on the top and the bottom. They didn't have to do what they did the second time around with that storyline. I think I understand the want to show the realities of all of the abuses that working staff during that era faced and still do face in many circumstances. However, it was very jarring for me to watch that, and then to strictly center it around, oh my god, she can't tell Bates because he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill her assailant. And then, did he kill him? That was a bullshit ass storyline, and the writer should be ashamed that they even did that, because I think I would appreciate it more if they made it more about like her own specific trauma. You know, that would make sense to me. But I also feel like she's between that, trying to get pregnant and not, you know, and with all of that and just everything that she faced through her entire storyline, they did not need to add that in. I think maybe like her specifically, like, I don't think it should have happened to anyone on that show. I think the subject of like consent was handled appallingly through many parts of the show. For example, Mary in the first season as well. And I think I'm watching Outlander right now, and I can definitely tell a difference between the two shows, and that Downton was written by two men, and that Outlander, or at least the book, was written by a woman. And I think the way that those sorts of subjects are handled in both shows, you can tell that there is a difference in the sort of sensitivity, because I think so far at least, Outlander does a decent job of showing like it as a real thing without like romanticizing it for the sake of the men in the show. That, I will say, is probably my biggest problem with the show. But that's all I'm going to say about that, because I do want this video to be not super triggering. My main thing about the show in general is that sexual assault survivors should be able to watch TV and movies without like worrying that that's gonna come up. It's been in enough things, we don't need it anymore, thank you. The ulcer scene in the final season. Hit. I was absolutely blown away when that happened, because like y'all know I'm a horror spooky binge, you know, I love that kind of thing, but with Downton you did not expect that to happen. Like, I looked into it, they did a lot of special effects work, but they ultimately went with the first take of that scene simply because his wife was wearing an actual vintage dress and blood got on her, and they could not keep cleaning the dress because it kept falling apart because it was so old, which is so sad because I think the fashion in the show is probably one of the greatest aspects of it. They do, I think, a really brilliant way of showing all of the different, you know, eras that they were going through the fashion that they wear, through the haircuts, the fact that like, you know, women in the show getting bobs was like a thing. It was a major thing, and I think that was so interesting. But I was so floored, like in a really good and unexpected way, by the ulcer scene. I'm so glad that he was okay, because I kind of love Lord Grantham. Like, I don't always agree with him, but he seems like a good dude, you know, in his own way. Let's see, I really don't know what I want to do on this portion because I want to use another color. I like what I have going on the rest of this, you know. I think I'm gonna go in with the fashionistas here, and I'm using this little like smudgy brush from the Milton Beetlejuice collection. Also, I can't believe I've made it this long without mentioning how Dame Maggie Smith is an absolute fucking goddess. Like, I feel like that goes without saying, but she is perfect and deserves the entire world. Given the ending of the first movie, I'm very scared for her character in the second movie, but the writers, we know, have no chill. I need to emotionally prepare myself for movie number 2. Other characters that I loved by the end but didn't love at the beginning, Tom Branson. I liked that he was like the token leftist of the family, but I really was annoyed with how like heavily he was pursuing Sybil in the beginning. Like, I felt like that was kind of problematic, but I ended up really loving him with his character development. Okay, I feel like this is a pretty cute look. I think if I weren't going for like trying to try as many shades in this as possible, I would have just done the shade on the center. But what I might do, I'm going to layer Frenemy on top of the pink. Oh, I don't like how and I got a lot of fallout. Oh well. Time to do it on the other side to make it match. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how the lower lash line turned out, but that's user error, not anything to do with this palette. I'm gonna add some more of that green just on the outer and inner corner. I just really want that to pop. But also, I love Sybil, and I understand like that the actress didn't want to continue playing her, but I was so sad. But like, I understand why it happened. I'm gonna layer just a teeny weeny bit of the Mayor on the inner corner just to make sure it like stays bright, you know, just to make sure it's a little bright, you know, a little fun. Okay, I was going to do some liner with this look, but I don't want to put in the effort, so I'm just gonna do some mascara instead. At least I'm honest, you know. By the way, for those of you who don't know, update, I found my lash curler. I saw a bit where some of the actors from Downton were on whichever late night show that Stephen Colbert is doing, and they did a scene from Downton in American accents, which really takes away a lot of the, it makes it a lot less easy to romanticize after you hear that, but that's just funny, go watch it type of thing. Upon rewatching some of the episodes, they definitely use like 2 different actresses for Marigold, and like not in a hard to detect Olsen twins kind of way. Like, watching it back, not the same. That's just a thing to mention. Oh, I also loved Violet. Like, I know that some people found her difficult at times, but I loved her. I thought that she was great. I really enjoyed her as a character, and I loved her. No. Fuck, I can't remember half of these people's names because they're all like fancy people. And then the Dowager Countess's best friend, Matthew's mom. Love her. I think she's great. I know she's not everyone's cup of tea, but I love her personally. Okay, that's the eyes done. I'm gonna do the rest of my face and continue talking if I can think of anything else to say. I'm just gonna do the rest of my face like I normally sort of do. I didn't buy anything else from this collection because I wanted to buy one of the Animal Crossing quads. Capitalism got me. Yeah, I think this eye look looks nice. I think it would look really good with some lashes if I did false lashes. By the way, one of my New Year's resolutions is to like find some false lashes that I like and use them more often because I don't know, I just think that might be a fun time for me. You know, really need to replace my beauty sponge. I'm just looking at this eye look because I haven't been playing as much in makeup as I used to, and getting back into it feels really nice. Just gonna try some brushes that I got for Christmas too. This is the angled foundation brush from Eco Tools. I got a set of Eco Tools brushes for Christmas. I'm gonna just see how that contours. It's not bad. Okay, other Downton takes. I also really love the mom. I feel like she doesn't get enough love in the fandom, but I thought that she was actually really great. I loved that, like, regardless of like scandal or whatever, she was always really supportive of her daughters, and I like that they gave her, you know, an identity outside of being Lord Grantham's wife. I'm glad that Edith got her happy ending because I think both of her and Mary were really not great sisters to each other, but considering that Mary, you know, kind of got a lot more of what she wanted out of life. I don't want to say easier because obviously she's had her share of scandals and problems, lots of them caused by her own sister. There was always the expectation that Mary would have the successful life and Edith wouldn't. But I'm very happy that she got her own, you know, happiness, her own success, and that she has a significant other who, you know, really, really supports that. I don't like most of the men that have tried to court Mary. Even her current husband, the race car driver or whatever, I feel like he's nice, but I think we've all been spoiled because of Matthew, because he was the greatest and they did him dirty. I understand that they're gonna always just make bad things happen because it's a TV show and they need to keep it interesting, but that broke me. There are lots of moments in that show that broke me, and yet I kept watching. Interesting. By the way, I'm using the Noon palette from Midas Cosmetics. They're going out of business, and I'm really sad because that means I can't get this palette again, and I'm like very, very deep in the highlighter here. Like, check out that pan. Okay, I think I'm just gonna put on some lip gloss because I feel like lip gloss would go very well with this look. I'll use this one. This is one from Fluid. I forget which one. I think this is in Dream House. The sticker came off the bottom. I'll use this one when I do like a bubbles type look with this palette. I think if I had one that kind of shifted green a little bit, which I know that Lime Crime does make one, and I'm starting to really love their Wet Cherry gloss. This is a mini that I got as a freebie, but I might try some of their colors, you know, because like, that is a nice looking gloss and it smells delicious. Okay, so that's it. I think that this is a good look. And that's kind of all I can think of off the top of my head to say about Downton Abbey. So what do you think of this look? I really like it. I was kind of wary of this palette. Like, I bought it because it was $5. I hadn't really done a whole lot for myself at the time, and I really, you know, I really wanted to treat myself. So I was like, okay, it's $5. If I hate it, then that'll be sad. But I think it was actually a pretty good purchase. One, because I don't have a lot of, I have a lot of colors in my makeup wardrobe, but I don't necessarily have a whole lot in this range. You know what I mean? Of that sort of saturation. I thought it would be interesting. I also knew, like, I generally like ColourPop shadows, so I felt like, okay, if this is you know, anywhere close to their standard formula, I'll at least enjoy using it for a little bit. I was a little bit nervous because I couldn't tell from different people's reviews if the mattes in here were going to be more bright or more pastel, because you'll know I am really not a pastel person. I think that pastels work great on other people, but I feel like in order to make them work and make them be flattering on me, I have to do a lot more work. Like I always have to wear eyeliner, I always have to choose the exact right colors, and so I don't really wear pastels a whole lot, even though I find them really pretty on other people. So I'm definitely happy that the colors are more on the vibrant side. I really like the shade Silico, the bright green. I feel like that performed really well. The shadows were super easy to work with too. Like I said, when I was doing the makeup, if I wasn't trying to use like a variety of different shades, I would have just used Frenemy on the like middle part of my lower lash line, but I don't think that this looks bad. I like Frenemy a lot, by the way. That's a really nice shade. I think it's very pretty. So I think I'm gonna get like some fun looks out of this palette. I'm very interested to see them. Like I'm probably gonna get up early before work tomorrow and do another look with it, because I feel like that would be nice. If all of the mattes perform as well as Silico does, then I think it'll be great. There are a couple of pressed glitters in there, which I think I'm gonna try and use them on my eyes. I might not put them directly near my lash line, but honestly, after 2 years of being in a global pandemonium, my sense of self-preservation is pretty low, especially when I am seeking serotonin. So I might try a press glitter near my eyes. Live on the edge. Use a glitter glue, folks. Actually, I'm really impressed with the shimmer payoff, considering that I didn't use glitter glue on this look at all. I think it's really nice. I think this look would also look really cute with like some glowy coral blush, which I totally would have done. I just didn't have the energy to go in and pull all of that out. I still don't have my makeup collection organized. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to do, I bought the La Belle of the Ball quad because I am also a huge Animal Crossing fan, specifically for the hedgehogs, and I love purple. So I want to use this in a video very soon too. So I'm trying to think, let me know what subject would you like a super late takes on for that one, because I'm probably gonna film that maybe later this week or something, whenever I feel like getting down to business on that. So yeah, let me know if you like this video, if you like this series. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you all in my next one. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye.